Hello everybody, welcome to another review by Tools. Today I'm going to be reviewing Crash Bandicoot, published by Sony and developed by Naughty Dog and released in 1996 for the Sony PlayStation 1, and it's the 8th best-selling PS1 game of all time. The critics generally praised the game's graphics and style, but weren't very fond of its gameplay and innovation to the genre. Crash Bandicoot is a basic platformer that didn't ascend the genre at the time of its release, and in my opinion, Crash is a very overrated title for the PlayStation. The basic premise of the game is to follow a linear path of levels and get to the end of each level. In total, there's 32 levels spanning 3 different worlds. Every so often there will be a very uninspired and overly simple boss fight to mix up the platforming. I think there's about 3 to 4 boss fights in total, and they're very simple and easy. There's also some level variety in the form of boulder chase levels, side-scrolling levels, and vertical platforming levels. The player starts out with 4 lives and can obtain more by collecting 1-up Crash symbols, and they can also collect 100 fruit pieces, which will give a 1-up similar to collecting 100 coins in Mario games. There's also other items to collect in the game, such as tile pieces that get you a bonus round, and an opportunity to save your progress in the game. And you can also collect Dr. Cortex pieces that lead to another more difficult bonus level, and there you can obtain gems and keys by perfecting each level, which lead to extra bonus areas and a different bonus ending to the game. There are many problems with the gameplay in Crash Bandicoot, and basically the biggest problem is the function of the controls or lack thereof. The controls are really slippery and can be near impossible to control your Bandicoot at times, and most of the deaths and frustration in the game come from the unpolished controls. Another big problem with the gameplay can be the frustrating level design. Enemies and obstacles are placed by Naughty Dog in such positions where it seems that the level is nearly almost impossible to clear. After many frustrating times of losing all 30 of my lives on one area or obstacle, I almost gave up playing the game. However, I did chug through it and complete the game. A major problem in the game that goes hand in hand with the level design is the save system. Your only chance to save the game is to collect 3 tile pieces in certain levels of the game. I think it's like every 2 or 3 levels you get a chance to save your game. Once the pieces are collected, you enter a bonus round which you must clear to save the game. Some of the bonus levels are pretty tricky and you won't always get a chance to save, and the save opportunities are pretty scarce throughout the game. And when the player loses all his lives and doesn't have a chance to save, it starts at the last save point. So basically if you miss a bonus level or miss a save spot, you're pretty much screwed and have to play the levels all over again. Something I hate in games, and it drove me nuts to play levels over and over. I must have done some levels a good 100 times, and if the game had a better save system, it definitely would have gotten a lot higher rating. The story in Crash Bandicoot is very sparse as well. There's very little backstory when it comes, and basically you just watch an opening cutscene that really doesn't describe anything. It just shows Crash being experimented on by Dr. Cortex and escaping. There's also no story progress through the 32 levels to break it up at all, and there pretty much is no ending to the game either. This is a very weak story, and Donnie Dog should have done a lot better in that area. Where Crash Bandicoot really shines is in its graphical and visual design. All of the levels look great, and much better than other PS1 platformer games I have played over the past year. Some areas are dark and gloomy, while others are very bright and colorful, and there really is a nice balance and contrast to the game. Crash himself, along with the other characters, also look great, and they show visual emotion. So for instance, if Crash is just waiting around and you're not moving him at all, he'll change his facial expressions. The style of the game is also what kept me from giving Crash a very low review rating. The levels all look great, they're designed well, but the design of the game doesn't overshadow all the problems of the game. The sound and music in the game is also very good, although it lacks variety at a lot of points in the game. The same 2 to 3 tracks play over depending on which level you're on. Crash Bandicoot received a game ranking score of an 8 out of 10 and a GameSpot user score of an 8 out of 10. My score is significantly lower than the review scores. In my opinion, Crash is an overrated game due to the frustrating controls and level design. It can be fun to play, but the constant deaths and having to replay levels really grind your gears. I wanted to give the game a really low score, probably around a 2 or a 3, but its visual design and graphics saved it for me. So overall, Crash Bandicoot gets a 4 out of 10. Once again, thanks for watching another review by Tools, and look forward to more in the future. Peace.